Hello, everyone. This is Ross from Retro Dream Beam. I'm an eBay seller full time. I've been doing this with my fiance Netta for a couple years now. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm going to talk about what we were shipping out today on Monday. So we had like a really good Friday and Saturday. Sunday wasn't as good. The Super Bowl was going on, but I do remember last year we did really well during the Super Bowl and a few days after it. My guess at the time was a bunch of people would do bets. So people that were winning their bets would spend their money. So we'll see how the next few days shape out. But yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff that I get to talk about. I have slightly more time today than normal because I woke up super early, so I'm tired. I get to talk more about this stuff. The first thing is this mid-century, like handcrafted boat right here. It's like a bronze one. It's very sharp in the edges, so I had to be really careful when I was like storing this. It has like an actual, I think like someone put a rock. It's like a granite rock or something like that down there. Super cool. I don't know what type of rock that is. I know people like rocks, but they got that for this kind of MCM bronze statue thing. We got this from someone that was flipping storage units. This ended up selling for $44.99. So that's pretty cool. I'm going to carefully put this down right over here. All right, next up, we have a signed like art print that we got from like an auction house. This one right here, I'll just show you guys real quick. This has a certificate of authenticity right there. It's 1,141 out of 3,000. This is labeled James Buscema Hellraiser. Let me click on it real quick. Yeah, Hellraiser. There you go. That's it. I'm not sure like what this is. The signature is like down over here in the down left corner. Got a bunch of these. This is the first one that's sold from this like authenticated art print limited edition things I got. It sold for $15. Everything's going to be plus shipping. So I'll just save us the time right here. I don't know if I said that yet. All right, moving along, we have a catalog magazine. It's like L.L.Bean right here. This one didn't go for as much as the other ones. Sorry, L.L.Bean, not J.Bean. Do you remember actually what this is? What is it? A store? Okay, I thought it was like an alcohol brand. I'm thinking of Jim Beam. I think that's what I was thinking of. Okay, some kind of cool store. This is from 2007. This sold for $6.74. Got a bunch of catalogs from the people we got the catalogs and magazines and storage unit stuff from. So that stuff's been pretty cool. That one's not like super expensive because there's more of them. That's a cool like 2007 item. All right, moving along, we have, I think this is a board game. Let me double check. Yeah, it's called Tempo right here. It has like some metal bits and pieces. It's like a smaller box, so it's not like one of those bookcase, but it's pretty similar. Hoyle Official Games, so the card company. This sold for $22.50. Always get cool, interesting stuff like that. And then moving along, we have some Czech is the that's the company name for this particular board game. Czech Games right here. Pictomania. These are promo cards for Pictomania. So there's 9 of these promo cards. These ones are actually board game related. So it has like Power Grid, Agricola, Twilight Struggles, Scythe. If you don't know what I'm saying, they're just titles to board games right here. Terra Mystica. I've never played this game. This is kind of one of those party games where there's going to be like a bunch of drawing and there's going to be some kind of timer and some kind of thing that you're trying to guess, get people to guess like what you're drawing. This sold for $7.59 for just more like options for when they pull a card on the table and play the game. I can picture like the cover actually of this game, even though I played it. It's like a dragon. There's a lot of blues and reds on it, like a cartoonish dragon. All right, next up is something cool that Annetta grabbed from an antique mall like last year, I think, or maybe the year before that. So this one right here is a fly die cuts like cardboard piece. It was like hung up or taped up on a classroom wall at some point. There was like a little section in the antique mall where it was a teacher and she would come in and sell her stuff. That's what the person at the register said. She got a huge bag of these like just teacher materials and stuff like that. There's a bunch of cool die cut animals and bugs. We've been selling them a good amount. I think she paid like $1 for the bag. This one sold for $11. Pretty cool. Like, I don't know what they're going to use it for, but it does look pretty cool. They can do it for anything. I put it down as it's like a die cut art print. I didn't know how to exactly describe it because it was originally on a poster. And I think the teacher just like cut out all the animals and bugs. All right, next up, we have another board game expansion piece. This is going to be the Berserker character for Gloomhaven. It's an unlockable character. So this is going to have all the cards and components to play the character. And this is going to be the miniature right here. I have a couple of these. This one ended up selling for $9.38. So someone's going to enjoy a Gloomhaven character. That is actually, I think that's my favorite character when I was playing the game. Like that's actually, I can't remember how many Gloomhaven characters there are on the base game, like 18, maybe more. That one was my favorite. It's a really cool character that has axes, and then they have a couple different like builds you can do where you do a bunch of damage and you hurt yourself, or you can just straight up do a bunch of like axe throwing and spins and stuff in the game. A lot of fun. All right, next up we have Right here, Jackpot, some kind of like dice game. I'll get all these weird little dice games and board games from time to time. If you saw my haul video, like that I posted yesterday or the day before, you'll see a bunch of these like wacky little games I get. They do sell for us. It sold for $9. It's a pretty cool one. It's in like a clamshell. Someone's just gonna play like a dice rolling, pretending that they have a slot machine. That's it. That's all what it is. But people like that stuff. All right, moving along. We have 12 board game gray pieces right here. They're like little hexagons or something like that. I'm not sure what game they go for, but someone spent $8.99. I get a bunch of board game bits and pieces, so that's pretty good for that. Especially like something like generic like that. I'm like, will someone get it? And then they do end up getting it. Excuse me. There's a lot to go through. All right, next up is going to be a plush bunny right here. This is Dollcraft Novelty. Not too sure. I'm not like a plush expert. This one kind of, excuse me, this one has like a weird feel to it, like kind of like a fuzzy one. This ended up selling for $16.80, so that's pretty cool. I will actually put them right over there. You can watch me doing what sold. All right, next up we have a puzzle right here. This is a super cool puzzle. I like puzzles. I haven't had time to do a puzzle recently. This is from 1985. This is just a puzzle of puzzle pieces, so I feel like this would be a really fun one to do. It looks like the bottom of the actual art got sun damaged at some point, but obviously the pieces inside are not going to be sun damaged. This is sealed. This sold for $18. So I'm glad someone's going to enjoy a puzzle. I thought that one was cool. I almost kept it when I got it. All right, moving along, we have a Haberman sphere. I never knew like the official name for this until I got one and had to look it up right here. Actually, it's going to be too much of a pain to get out, but it's one of those toys that expands and then it contracts right there. This ended up selling for $11.47. Sorry, I thought I was going to be able to take it out, but I don't want to do all the work to put it nicely back in there without breaking it. All right, next up we have a combo order. This one, it was actually from a mistake that we made. So we had a combo order, I think like Friday or Thursday. There was a weird communication error where we ended up messing up. It was the person that bought a bunch of those, like, I think they're called Mears Minis. Brythoniids right here, that particular race or faction. I ended up shipping the wrong one. So I asked the person, I was like, hey, do you want to keep the one? Like, we can do a return for the one item, or you can buy this one. I told them like, I did like 15% of our asking price as an offer. So I was like, you can buy this one really cheap. And because I saw you bought a bunch of other stuff last time, if you want to do like combo shipping again, I'll also accept slightly lower offers and other stuff because of our mistake. So they did pick up other stuff. So I turned like a mistake, which could have been a return into another sale, which is pretty cool. Overall, I got $37.50 for this stuff. It's pretty cheap. Like, we got most of this stuff pretty cheap, so it's not a big deal. But they were lower offers than I would have normally taken, but it was because we made a mistake. Ultra Pro white small Japanese size sleeves. Those are going to be for like Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Vanguard cards. There's also other card games that use those, just not Pokemon or Magic the Gathering. Warhammer, Adeptus, Astartes, Psychic Powers. So this is just going to have a bunch of little powers on cards, so they don't have to go through the rule book for the Astartes faction. They also got a really cool Diagon Alley poster right here, like an art print. That one looks pretty cool. There you go. It looks like there's Hagrid and Harry Potter, but it's like kind of like loosely done. All right, and then we have the last thing they got as the combo order, Ultra Pro Magic the Gathering Modern Masters Limited Edition dual deck box from Ultra Pro, and then there's also 80 sleeves in here. This thing is really cool. This is the City of Brass art. I guess you can't really see it because it's still sealed. That particular land card where you like lose a life to get any mana of any color. That's awesome. I have two of those. I got those from the auction recently. So that, like I said, that combo order was $37.50. Turned a mistake into another sale, which is pretty cool. This one should go smooth this time. All right, moving along. Oh, my brother's gonna. I know my brother watches occasionally. My older brother, and he's a big Bigfoot fan and stuff like that. Sasquatch and stuff like that. Him and his friends used to love that stuff. I don't know if he's still into it, but someone got 2 Bigfoot hardcover books. That's literally why I picked these up, is because when I saw these on the wild, I'm like, oh, if my brother was into it, maybe there's gonna be like other people who just love this stuff. And I was correct. $14.99 for 2 of these books is great. Yeah, I'll ask him later on, or maybe when he sees this video, maybe he can message me and we can talk about it. I'll just wait till then. All right, I have a lot to do, and so does Annetta. We've been super busy with stuff. All right, Crossroad Adventures Encyclopedia of Xanth, Xanth. I don't know if that's Xanth or Ant. All right, I don't know if it's silent. This sold for $9, some kind of cool Tor fantasy book. Super cool. There's like a lizard right here shooting out some fire lava. This guy's backing up with like a staff right there. All right, $9 for that one. We do pretty well with the books. All right, next up, we have a lot of 5 Racing Champions Police. Look at, I made another aesthetic lot. Do you like this one, Anetta? This one's the Police Champions little cars. It's like a bunch of black and white ones. One of them says Saline. This one says Oklahoma. This one, I can't read that because my eyes suck. $15 for that particular lot. It's a lot of fun selling like cool little aesthetic lots like that. All right, moving along, we got a combo order, international order. This is a lot of Cyberpunk. This is their old CCG. I think it's Cyberpunk. Is it 2020? Is that what they called it back in the day? I'll have to look that up later. I know there's two or three versions of this game, a bunch of starter decks and a bunch of booster packs. There is very little of this stuff listed on eBay. I got these from a Dead Card Game big box that I got at auction. I love the card game stuff. Dead Card Game. Yep, right there. That one says 2020. It's funny because this was made, I think, in the 90s, so we're past 2020. All right. Yeah, so these 4 lots was $150. Yep, that was cool. A lot of decks, a lot of packs right there. Super cool sale. That one makes me excited. All right, next up, we have a Pokemon card, and I looked this up in TCG Player recently because this is the second. This is Lucario V-Star right here. I think this would come in like as a promo in a Elite Trainer box. I buy empty boxes a lot, but sometimes like people still keep the like random stuff they don't care about in there. So they probably opened up a bunch of the Elite Trainer boxes. They took the promo. It was probably worth like $0.25 at the time because when they first come out, everyone's opening them and it's a guaranteed card. But they do go up in value over time, or at least specific ones. Maybe people are using this in the card game. I had another one. This one sold for $7.49. I saw it around that price on TCG Player. I just relisted another one when I was at the storage unit. I just list one at a time. So yeah, we'll see if you guys get to keep seeing this one sell. All right, let me make sure I don't get that bent somewhere. It's in the weird plastic packaging. Also, side note, I personally do not like the plastic packaging around these. Some people think it might give it more value. I just feel like it makes it more likely for the plastic to get uncaught on something and then for the card to get bent because it gets pulled with it. I like putting these types of cards in penny sleeves, the thin ones, into a top loader. But yeah, for this, I just kept it together. But yeah, I'm just saying that's like a personal preference of mine. I just don't like the risk of it getting bent. All right, next up we have an expansion for 7th Continent board game, Comfort Creatures right here. This one's sealed. I got the 2 base games and a bunch of expansions for like, I think it was like 55 or 65 in auction. I already made like one of the expansions was worth more than that. I think we sold the base game as well. This is a really cool survival co-op game where you have a curse that you and the survivors are trying to like uncurse or cleanse. I can't think of the word right now. So yeah, you get to pick a character. You go in this big open world. The whole board game and map is these square cards like this size. They're square cards. And parts of the map are open up. And then when you go to like a ledge or something and do an action, you like clear up all those cards and then you go into a new part of the world. So the huge part of the game is every curse and quest that you're playing, like each like 2 to 5 hour session, can use the whole world as long as you like travel, have enough actions. You also have to worry about like eating and not falling into cool traps. This adds a bunch of cool little creatures to the game. So that's awesome. This sold for $12. We played the base game. We did not play with any of the expansions, but yeah, it's called Comfort Creatures. So I can imagine, because I played the game before, like what it adds. So that's pretty cool that someone's going to enjoy that. It's a pretty cool game. We just have a bunch of other games to get into. We are not selling our copy, but I asked Annette if she wants to play anytime soon. I asked her like a month or 2 ago. She's like, nah, not right now. All right, moving along. We have 2 1930s Decatur, Illinois photos right here. Decatur, Illinois. I always say that wrong. So 8x10. I know this is like something I want to be more knowledgeable about. I've watched a couple people on YouTube in the past that do really well with like old photos and stuff. This one happened to be labeled when I got it. It's like almost like a huge like picture of a church and a bunch of people who are going to it, or maybe some house. Like I said, I'm not knowledgeable, so don't take that for like super fact, other than I know it's from 1930s. This sold for $6.75. There's 2 of them in there. So that one just makes me excited just because when I do list the photos and stuff, I don't do well with them. So I have to like learn that particular thing. I think I'm just waiting for a time when we get a bunch from like a storage unit flipper that doesn't care about them. All right, next up, we have a horror film poster right here. I don't even remember where we got this one. I can take a guess. I think it was from an auction house when they were moving. Can I unfold this very carefully? I can, I think. This is Amityville. Oh, no, I can't. Let me do the best I can. All right, right there. I think it's Amityville Part 2, the Possession movie. And then there's the little title down there. This one ended up selling for $13. So that's pretty cool poster right there. I'll put that one back. All right, moving along, we have Android Netrunner promo card. This one sold for $27, which is kind of crazy for a Netrunner promo. This was the last one I have. So this one is NGO front asset. This thing I think is used by corporations to get different resources in the game. So the special thing about this promo versus other one, there's more art on it. So it's like a full art one. And then also in the promo packs or the tournament packs and prizes of Netrunner, there'd be like 3 full art cards and then a bunch of like something that people would get as participation. This one is going to be one of the ones where there's only 3 players that get it during that like reward kit. This sold to repeat buyer for $27. I'm assuming they got other Netrunner stuff. So that's super awesome. All right, next up is a Bananas magazine right here. I think Annetta remembers this one or grabbed it. This is magazine number 54. Has like a bunch of different like comics on the back right there. A lot of little cartoon like people with wacky faces. This sold for $6.75. All right, next up we have Warhammer template, like little acrylic pieces. This is a template set right here. I guess I wrapped it up pretty nicely, so sorry, you probably won't be able to see it. Area of effect, a spray, and a measurement, and then there's a little melee counter right there. These are all used for the War Machine Privateer Press game to, measure stuff, abilities, explosions. This sold for $7.64. I made a note that during the auction I spent $3.75 on it, but I think that was from like a huge bin where I just took the total quantity of items and divided it out. So like I normally would not spend $3.75 on that, but it was just part of like a bigger lot. All right, next up is another little Matchbox police car. This is Adam 12 or Plymouth Grand Fury. There you go. I don't know anything about cars. We do get them a lot and we do sell them a lot. Little police one. This sold for $6. All right. It's been a while since we sold some of these and also since I've listed a source on Wisconsin. Little pamphlet map right here. This one is from 1993 and 1994. I think I put a note right there. Yeah, 1993, 1994 official state highway map. These do pretty well for us. This sold for $11.25. All right. Next up, we have another combo order. It's also like this person bought a combo order from us before. This is not like a issue one where I had issues with the other person. Let me make sure that I pulled everything correctly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. They got a bunch of Monopoly pieces. These are going to be the keys and then the skyscrapers. I think this is like the city one or the Chicago one. So we got that. The whole combo order was $57, $60, $70. Yeah, $70 plus shipping. We have these incomplete. This is the city version of Monopoly. There's going to be houses. There's also going to be some player pieces, more incomplete of these pieces. I think that's everything I have from that. So they like that particular Monopoly. This is a small little felt black dice bag. Dice bags are really interesting because there's not really like a good company that's well known for making a bunch of them. So like anytime I find them, usually they're like a company that does like board games and then they'll happen to make a dice bag, or maybe it'll be like a sleeve company makes a couple. So I'm always looking out for like unique ones. All right, and then we also have Jutland Avalon Hill historical game of naval warfare. All right, I think this is going to be German based or something like that. I don't know anything. It says British Grand Fleet versus German Fleet May 1916 right here. I'm not sure if this one's complete or no. I put incomplete, so it doesn't have everything, but it has like a cover. I know someone's going to like. People like these types of games. I haven't played them. All right, and then last up, this is Paris edition, Wednesday, May 9th, 1945. Allied world celebrates as peace comes to ETO. Ceasefire order at 0001 today. So this is just like a piece of a newspaper. This is like a crazy piece of history. So yeah, they got all of this. Oh man, that's wild. I got a bunch of these like newspaper articles and stuff, but they're not like the full newspapers, and they have been slowly selling. I don't think I'm the best at like figuring out like the keywords for those, but yeah, important like ceasefire for World War II stuff, like someone's about to get it. So yeah, that's like an interesting piece of history. All right. Next up, we have Machoke right here. Marble. Pokemon had these little marbles. I have it in this little baggie right now because there was one time I did not have these in baggies. And when I was in the storage unit, I put it on like the little rolly cart and I started rolling and one of the marbles went flying. It did not get any damages or anything, but these are slightly delicate. They would have different colors and stuff. You get baggies for this. I loved the Pokemon marbles back when I was a kid. I still love them now. I like how like you can actually get them to shiny and stuff. Like I said, there's different collectible parts of it. This sold for $10. So that's pretty cool. Like I've seen people like lot the Pokemon marble stuff together, and no, I like to do them separate. All right, Next up, we have an actual Dungeons and Dragons Kingdoms of Calamac right here. Some kind of adventure book. This is super cool. It says for level 6 through 8 characters. Midnight's Terror right there. This sold for $15. So yeah, usually I get these like more hipster stuff, like RPG things, but then I do eventually find like good ones. All right, next up. Well, I guess they're all good, especially if they sell. Someone likes them somewhere. All right, the next thing is a hardcover book I recently listed. I don't know anything about it. The Only Good Indians, a novel right here. Stephen Graham Jones. Do you know anything about this one or not at all? This is one of 2020's busiest horror novels. There you go. It's a horror novel. All right, $7.49 for that one. I was just reading the back. And then we have another military book, like a German one, World War II, I think. Piper at the Battle of the Bulge right here. So it's going to be talking about like a specific, maybe a person or a battle right there for World War II. Sorry if I'm misspeaking. This ended up selling for $13.50. My brain's kind of mush right now. And we are on the last item that sold. I think Annetta grabbed this. She grabs the DVDs that say BBC. I think she said those are like particularly ones that people like and they're harder to find. This is Wolf Blood Season 2. I've never watched it. I don't think she's ever watched it, but this one sold for $50.99. You had a good take. All right, that's everything. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I hope everyone had a good week and is having a good start to this week.